Looking ahead, there's the board, the marker board for St Mark's Roundabout. Our intention is to take the first exit marked there for Laverstock. So that will be a left lane approach, and it's the first exit. So we will be putting a left-hand signal on. So checking our mirrors, signal position is to the left-hand lane, as we've said. We're now in the speed phase, which on this occasion is going to be bringing the car to a complete stop, and then taking an appropriate gear to move it forward. So we're in first gear, checking those blue lights, short shifting to second, so we're in a flexible gear. The blue lights have gone the other way, so we're fine to flow on. As soon as we got into the junction, we cancel our signal because of the left-hand junction immediately after it. Our intention now is to turn right into Manor Road, which again is a typical route back to the test station. Just pause here, and I'm taking first gear. As you can see, you've got a loss of visibility. There's a brow of the hill, and that police car has just emerged from over it. Also taking a good look into the road to check nobody's coming, and check that we don't cut the centre marking of that junction. New road, new mirrors. So we are now approaching St Mark's Roundabout from St Mark's Church. There's St Mark's Church to the left. This again isn't traffic light controlled. Our intention here is to take the second exit into Wain-A-Long Road, which is again a common return route to the test centre. So there's our gap. We move the car, and at this point we put a left-hand signal on. We hadn't signalled left previously because that would have been confusing, thinking we were going down the London Road. Again, we keep straight. We drive straight to the traffic stanchion until we're near to the curb line, then make our turn and cancel the signal to height restriction, slippery road surface for half a mile and a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. We've got a heavy vehicle ahead, though the speed limit is only 40 miles an hour, and we're already achieving that speed limit, so not planning to overtake that vehicle using lane 2. So now we're approaching St Mark's Roundabout, so this is a common route back to the test centre. So let's start taking in our information from the route boards. First of all, we're warned that queues are lightly and the brakes are coming on that heavy, so let's think about our speed. Then there's the route board, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 exits, and we want to take the third of those. So that was positioned at 12 o'clock, so convention would dictate a 12 o'clock approach is in the left-hand lane, which we're already in. But interestingly, what you'll notice is an extreme left-hand lane develops. But we have remained, as you can see, in the middle of what becomes 3 lanes. So the extreme left lane is for the first 2 exits. So that'll be St Mark's Church exit or the London Road. We're now positioned in the middle of the 3 lanes. And if you look ahead now, you can see that our intention is over where the blue van is by the traffic lights. That's where we intend to be heading for, but we have to avoid the lane that's to our left and the lane that's to our right. So at this stage, because we're going straight ahead, not left or right, I'm not signalling. Scanning all 3 mirrors, glance to the right, and then we come slowly on. We've got the white van to our right, bring us neatly into this lane. At this point we check our centre mirror, left signal, lights are green. Then we drive straight to the light stanchion and traffic light, get near to the curb line, make the turn, cancel the signal to avoid confusion with that left-hand junction just inside it. And now our intention is to turn right into Manor Road. So centre mirror, right signal. Take a rolling first gear, get your view over the brow of the hill, look into the junction before making the turn without cutting it. New road, new mirrors. So we're now approaching St Mark's Roundabout from Escort Road. So you can see the A36 from Southampton is running parallel to us there to our right. And our intention is to go back to Wain-A-Long Road. So this approach to St Mark's Roundabout is not traffic light controlled. So we've got to find our gap. So we're going to pause here. And there's our gap opening. The right hand signal on, move to the right hand lane. And now we're looking straight at St Mark's Church, and if you look at the floor markings, you can see a kicker to the inner curb, the inner disc curb line. There is a white kicker mark, which then meets the yellow box junction. If we follow that kicker and keep that to the right hand side of our car, that throws us out neatly into the middle lane of the 3 lanes. At this point we change our right signal to a left signal, having checked our mirrors, drive almost straight to the traffic light stanchion, get to the curb line, make our turn, cancel signal as we enter. You hear blue lights in the background there, so we're just checking where they are. They seem to be behind us. Our intention is to turn right. Right mirror, right signal. Rolling first gear, getting the view over the brow of the hill, looking into it. We've got a large vehicle there just making its progress around a parked car. So just delayed our turn slightly there. New road and new mirrors. So the fog is increasing, but again, still no need for fog lights at this stage. Certainly got more than 100 metres visibility. Our intention at the next roundabout is to turn right, so we're starting to plan and think about that now. There's a view of the route board. We want to take the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th exit right. So checking right mirror, right shoulder, right signal. We now position the car into lane 2, and we're now planning our approach. We're in the speed phase, and we can see the lights changing. So we're off the gas. What you can also see is there's an extreme right hand lane, so for a right hand turn we position extreme right. This approach is obviously traffic light controlled, and we also have, as you can just about see through the fog and the faded paintwork, a yellow box junction, so we mustn't enter that junction unless our route through it is clear. Again, constantly mirror sweeping at this point, just to be aware, very aware of everyone who's around us. So when the lights change, we will be checking to our right. Obviously not going to just rely on a green light to pull forward. We're going to check that nobody's overshooting the junction to our right. So check in, and no, I'm happy with those cars. Heading towards the centre disc to take the inside lane. The next set of lights are still green. Checking the yellow box junction is clear, and we've got the kicker on the paintwork on the inside there, which throws us out into this lane, at which point we change our right hand signal to a left hand signal, as our intention is to take the next exit into Wain-A-Long Road. What we've got to be careful of here as we move forward is not to cut. If we were to go straight across to Wain-A-Long Road now, we would be cutting the lane next to us, which is obviously highly dangerous. So the route we're actually going to take to keep us out of that lane is almost driving straight ahead towards the lamppost and the traffic light stanchion that you can see straight ahead. So that fence that is effectively straight ahead of us is where we're going to head first until we get somewhere near the curb line, and then we will start to make our turn. So the lights have changed. I'm checking to the left and scanning the mirrors before moving the car, and that keeps us in our lane. We enter Wain-A-Long Road, immediately cancelling the left hand signal to avoid confusion with that left hand turn just inside the junction. Okay, so we're now approaching St Mark's Roundabout from the A36, and we want to take London Road. So there's a clue there into which lane. So London is recommended that we use lane 2, and there again that's confirmed that lane 2 is our appropriate choice. So I'm checking my mirrors now, shoulder, putting a right hand signal, final shoulder check, moving the car into lane 2. What you'll notice as we approach the roundabout a little bit closer is we've currently got 2 lanes, and a 3rd lane will appear on the extreme right. Now, We're taking the London Road, and for that, as we've been advised, we need to use lane 2. But if we were going to go take the next exit, which is Wain-A-Long Road, which is a common route back to the driving test centre, we would have to move to the extreme right-hand lane and go to the centre disc. But for clarity, our intention on this pass is to go to the London Road, so we will remain in what becomes the centre lane and drive onto the roundabout in the middle lane, which will all become clear as we approach it. Scanning all 3 mirrors and shoulders before moving the car. We've been sitting here talking for a little while, giving space to the van ahead. There's the extreme right hand lane. We remain in the middle of the 3 lanes. Drive straight on. At this point we put a right hand signal on because our intention is not to go up to St Mark's Church. And now we check the mirrors, left mirror, left signal. Okay, so we're approaching St Mark's Roundabout from the London Road. And we can just see the route board there. And our intention is to take the second exit, A36 to Southampton, so the Ring Road A36 to Southampton. So second exit before 12 o'clock, so it's a left-hand lane approach. So I'm already driving in the left lane anyway, so I'm not changing position, so no need to signal. People wanting to move to the right-hand lane would normally give a signal to say they're moving from left to right, but we can remain in the position we're in without a change of signal. Scanning 3 mirrors, scanning, and then looking to the right, checking nobody's overshooting the junction, keeping to the outside edge of the disc. And now we've passed the first exit, we check the left mirror, left signal, exiting into lane 1 of the 2 lanes. So, this yellow sign is highly relevant. For Southampton, A36, traffic use both lanes. So our intention is to go to the Southampton exit, so a right-hand turn. So we have the option here, unusually, to use both lanes to move the volume of traffic. So we are going to remain in the lane we're in, but our intention is to turn right. So I'm delaying signalling at this point to avoid any confusion that I intend to move from lane 1 to lane 2. What you'll notice is an extreme left-hand lane now appears just on the left-hand side there. But at this point, I am going to put a right-hand signal on, as my intention is to turn right at this roundabout. But we remain in the inside lane, leaving that signal on, and this is where the signal helps, because that white car may have been confused had I not had a right-hand signal on. We now change the right-hand signal to a left-hand signal before checking our mirrors on exit.